Crazy Rich Humans on a Thursday afternoon, and today we talk about super boats.
Not just normal boats. And not just boats, actually. Boat doesn't sound very sexy, does
Yeah.
it? Like, boat can be anything. We're talking about yachts.
Super yachts.
Yeah, that just sounds great, doesn't it? Super
Yeah.
or mega are the tags attached. And they got to be bigger than, I heard the strict definition is 28 meters.
Okay.
Anything less than that, that's just a yacht.
Okay.
Okay. We're talking the
A
super
boring
ones.
old yacht.
Yes, indeedy. And the sales of the super yachts in the past 12 months have apparently skyrocketed.
Oh.
And in COVID times, normal folks are cutting back. We're trying to save money. Many people have lost their jobs as well. But we've talked about this on the segment a few times. The rich have got much richer. They've capitalized on this. Jeff Bezos' wealth has gone through the roof despite his divorce. He's still number one in the world. And to be fair, he put in his order for his yacht before COVID started, but it's going to be ready next month. And that is said to be one of the biggest yachts ever built. It's the size of a football field lengthways.
Wow.
And it has its own little yacht that sits within it. So
A
if
yacht
you need...
within a yacht.
And they both have helipads, so they can fly people between them as well, if you want.
How do you put a yacht how do you put a yacht in a yacht?
Well, it's kind of like the aircraft character style.
It reminds me of that Christmas dinner where you take the chicken and put it inside the duck.
Oh, yes.
And then you take the duck and put it inside the turkey. The turducken. You know about
yeah,
this,
I
right?
do.
Yeah, you just keep putting in a bird inside a bird
You
inside
just
a bird.
keep putting yachts inside of yachts.
Yeah, it's got 3 masts. It is gigantic, and it cost $500 million. So more than most mansions, even combined.
I
right?
mean, that's out of control.
But say you got this somehow, you won it at a game of poker. The problem is it costs $60 million to keep a year.
Just to maintain
Upkeep,
it.
yeah,
Wow.
60 million. And so that's just one of the examples because some of the yacht sellers were speaking to the media recently, and they said even if you've got all the money in the world at the moment, you cannot get a slot in the new build yards, which are in the Netherlands and Germany. They're like the best yacht builders. So it doesn't matter if you want one or not. You're going to have to get on a waiting list.
Well, even for Jeff Bezos, you said he ordered it pre-COVID and
Yes.
it's ready next month. So it took well over a year to build this thing.
Yeah, you can go secondhand if you're not quite a billionaire. Steven Spielberg has put his yacht up for sale, and it's only $211 million.
Oh, is that
Only?
all?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
Yeah, you can go on the Carrot application maybe and find a yacht there.
Yeah, right.
But they said there's a reason behind this. Because of COVID, it's just accelerated it, but it was a thing even before. If you've got your own private yacht, and some of these yachts can go 17,000 kilometers without refueling, so you can be out on the sea for probably a good part of the year.
Yeah, months on end.
Yeah, and you can avoid the prying eyes of the public. And they said the super wealthy are getting more and more sensitive to that.
Not only the prying eyes of the public and the privacy and just the fact that it's amazing to own a super yacht and to live like that, but also for safety purposes, right? For the rich people who were really worried about COVID spreading, being around other people in regular society, not that they necessarily would be anyway, but this is a safer option
Sure.
to go live out at sea by yourself. I mean, if there's no COVID on the boat, then there's no COVID around you at all, right?
Yeah, and then with the land borders closed and with travel restrictions in the the US apparently makes up 50% of super yacht orders. They said lots of people want it there because then they can go anywhere without those restrictions.
Yep, exactly. So it totally makes sense. Super yachts, our topic today of the rich and famous. We'll take a break. Here's Mike Perry, The Ocean. Super yachts, the topic today in famous rich people, or super rich people, excuse me. Crazy rich humans.
That's the right adjective.
All meaning the same thing. So Bezos is buying a yacht. Spielberg's selling a yacht.
Because he wants to buy a new one as well. He
Yeah.
placed an order for a new one.
And just from watching this reality show that I've been watching recently, I wasn't really, I guess, familiar with what these yachts look like on the inside. I mean, they are gorgeous. They're just like full-size apartments almost.
It's a luxury hotel, basically, on the water, isn't isn't it? So the basic facilities on there. My favorite one, they call it apparently a beach club. It's that rear end of the yacht that is at water level.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you can feel like you're on the beach and you can just go for a dip and then get back on. You might have seen it in the film Tenet. That's where I remember seeing a lot of it. The wife of this rich guy at the yacht.
Oh, you actually understood something from that movie?
Just the beach bit, the beach club bit. Yeah,
You understood that yacht was good. That's what you understood.
Right.
Yeah, and so they come with massive decks and a whole lounge area. Obviously, there are swimming pools on the yacht despite being in the water. Full-size gymnasiums, spas, massage rooms, saunas, salon services, and sun pads.
Have you ever taken a cruise before on a full-size cruise ship?
No, I haven't.
That's a different scale, isn't it? It's even bigger.
It's a different scale, but it's kind of the same thing. I went on the Carne Blanc cruise line. It was our family trip. And the whole experience was amazing, but they have literally everything. They are floating cities.
Yeah.
They are floating cities. They have shopping, they have bars, they have clubs, they have restaurants. They have the grand dining room that perhaps you saw in Titanic.
Wow.
Like that style of formal sit-down dinner.
You've got like hundreds or thousands of people on there?
I would say thousands of people on there. Yeah.
And you're just milling about.
Yep. Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. But one of the coolest things that I remember was when you wake up in the morning and you go for breakfast, you had two breakfast options. You could either go for the formal sit-down breakfast and be served by a wait staff, or on what I believe on a boat is called the poop deck, which is the deck where all the pools are.
Okay.
I think that was the name, or the Lido deck. Anyway, it's just a level of the boat. They have this kind of cafeteria-style buffet breakfast, and which is open to the outside. Oh, wow. And then you can just get your breakfast and eat by the swimming pool on your day lounger. Oh. That was your other choice for breakfast. I mean...
That's not a bad choice.
Oh, my goodness. And you were assigned, like by the pool, for the whole week, you were assigned a personal waiter. So every single day you had the same waiter. Like if you wanted a cocktail, he was like right there.
You just call your waiter.
He was like a little ninja. He would just appear out of nowhere.
Oh my.
Cocktail, sir.
Wow.
And it was incredible. So I get why people are into like this whole yachting lifestyle.
Of course, and you can invite as many people as you want there. There's no strict restrictions in international waters, but some charities have been speaking out against this because apparently already in 2021, we're just in May, over £1 billion, so maybe $1.4 billion, something like that, has been spent on super yachts. And Oxfam were coming out in a news article recently saying this is absolutely obscene when countries like Nepal are having a terrible time with COVID and it could vaccinate the whole country with just the amount we're spending on super yachts.
Yeah, but we as society are not spending money on super yachts.
Sure.
Governments are not spending citizens' tax money on super yachts. Individual rich people are spending money. Jeff Bezos is buying a super yacht. Whoever buys Steven Spielberg's $211 million super yacht is also mega rich as well.
Sure.
So these organizations have come out and criticized these rich people for buying their own yachts and not vaccinating a country.
Yeah, they're like, if you have the choice, why do you not give that to Nepal instead?
How do you feel about this, Kate? Like, this is not a new issue.
Yes.
Right.
It's
Could
like
be used with any extravagant buy.
Any extravagant buy and any group that needs some sort of help.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is tricky. It's tricky because I also get, you made that money. That's yours. Spend it however you like. But if you kind of get to the nitty gritty of how Jeff Bezos made his fortune, and mind you, he is like the head of that company, but the backs of all the workers, if you're thinking about that, they're probably from nations like Nepal and whatnot. Wouldn't it be nice if you bought a super yacht, maybe the same, match that and match a donation with the super yacht or something.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? If he said, I'll have a super yacht and I'll have a country's full vaccination.
Yeah, that's like a
Both
win-win.
at the same, like buy one, get one. Well, it's not getting one free, is it? You'll buy double the price of the yacht.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess so. And we're opening up a door to a new topic here.
Yeah.
And I understand the point. But if you do it this time and you don't do it next time, then is the media or organizations not going to criticize you? Well, why are you not helping this group? You helped that group.
Sure.
And then if you do it again, well, then now you're required to help every time. I don't know.
And it's not really linked in any way, super yachts and vaccines, right?
Yeah.
There's no linkage between. It's not like he chose this over vaccines. It wasn't on the table.
It's just anytime we see purchases like this, then we can always argue that money can be used to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
The other thing that's really interesting about the super wealthy, not just in COVID, it started before, is apparently, as well as the yachts, which will maybe get them to this place, they're buying up tracts of land in New Zealand. Especially the South Island, I believe, which is the one that's less populated, more nature. They're buying up a load of land there, a few of the super billionaires. And they won't admit it, but in some of the books that some of them have read and some of the papers they've written, it's in case of like COVID, like an apocalypse happening.
Okay.
It's the place like furthest away from anywhere.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a wonderful source of clean water and a clean environment.
Oh.
And they're said to be, in some cases, building bunkers and mansions out in the countryside. So if it all goes terribly wrong, they've got somewhere to live.
So they're just buying the plots of land. They're not building homes like vacation homes.
Yeah.
Some are already building homes and bunkers, like I said. Some of the rich and powerful. And one guy bought like 1,000-acre sheep farm, and he's trying to invite people from Silicon Valley to invest in it as like this hub, this getaway. So it's kind of a step up from your super yacht. It's basically what they would envision a kind of getaway nation, a city-state that they would like to have out there.
Okay, where all the rich people can live together while the rest of us melt into the earth or something. That's the justification behind it?
Their thinking is, look, if we can't stop it, and they're not saying they're not going to stop it, like a lot of these people will speak off the record and say, of course we don't want humanity to collapse, we don't want a pandemic to kill the rest of humanity, but if it does, we want to have a plan B, a backup for ourselves. And again, can you criticize? They've made this money. And
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
That I don't think you can.
But what's the difference, though? Going back to the point that we were talking about before. What's the difference between spending $211 million on a super yacht or buying a big plot of land in New Zealand to save yourself from the end days when that costs just as much money? I don't know. I just find it, when it pops up in the news, then people go, oh. And then people criticize it, right?
Sure, yeah. But if it was your money and you're spending it, so that could apply to everyone, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Anything that's not necessary for your life, why aren't you giving that to someone who's really in need, right?
Yeah, right. Why are you staying in that hotel room that costs $400 when you could stay at a $100 hotel room and donate the other $300?
Yeah.
It's always the argument, isn't it? Yeah.
But
apparently...
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but you see my point.
Yeah, so apparently what New Zealand has done, because they're worried about like inflation and higher land prices, is they've now banned or made it very difficult for foreigners to buy land there.
Oh, really?
Because, people have been buying this rural land that didn't really have much value, and then locals are now getting priced out. I mean, we've seen that in other cities as well, like in Vancouver, I heard, with a lot of foreign investment.
Absolutely.
So New Zealand are tightening their belts.
Does that mean that the people that already purchased the land in New Zealand are going to have to restructure their contracts or something?
It doesn't seem so. A lot of them are billionaires, and they have promised to donate a lot to New Zealand and its economy.
That's one of the ways how the other half is living this week. $500 million boat for Jeff Bezos.
With his own mini boat.
Could change his name to Jeff Botos. John Denver wraps up hour number 1, leaving on a jet plane.